Here we go. Hello, hello. This is Kathy Basil with Limitless Women Rising, and this is all about the invitation for, I'm going to have to stop because he's eating.
All right, Miss Megan.
Hello, hello. This is Kathy with Limitless Women Rising. This is a speaker series designed for women who are on the edge. We've got that calling, kind of don't know what we're being called to, and yet there's things holding us back. So I've collected some of the most amazing people, and wait till you experience Kathy Williams today. She is a transformation coach. She works with women, sensitive women in particular, to help them become the best versions of themselves. So that's kind of the blah, blah, blah. This woman is actually a magic woman, and she's going to share her special brand of sparkle with us today. Kathy, I'm so excited for this conversation because so many of us, like, the world's turned upside down. So women, we were sensitive, maybe taking on everybody else's energy before, but wow, we've been taken for a little bit of a ride.
Pretty crazy. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me here, Kathy. I'm excited to chat with you.
Me too. So tell us more about what's happening. Like how would you define sensitive women? Because some women may not even self-identify as.
I didn't. I didn't self-identify as that, and then I was like, oh wait, when I learned more about it, I was like, oh, you mean stuff in my environment, like if it's off, I'm aware of it. If there's too much noise, music, or can you like turn it down? Or also energies, like for me, I can't go into bars, I just feel it all, right? So we're just that much more aware. I love the word aware because it doesn't make it wrong.
Right.
It makes you like, oh, I'm aware of different things. I don't have to diminish myself for that. Yeah, I do need to learn to navigate it. And it's funny because once I was at a holistic fair, and this was probably like 15 years ago, doing my thing. I don't even know what my thing was at the time. I've studied like 5 zillion things.
Just lots of things.
And there was this guy at a booth sort of across the room. It was far away. And I was like, I know I need to go see that guy. I know I need to go see that guy. So eventually I went over to the guy, and he was doing tarot, but he looked at me and he said something to the effect of, why aren't you mastering your energy? And I was just like, oh. So this isn't about the tarot. and he was like, there are 3 ways of doing it, and you need to do it because you are eating everyone's energy.
Yeah.
And it's not good for your body. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let's learn here, you know? And it's important because if we are aware, and most of the people listening really care about other people.
Yeah.
You know, we care. We don't want them to suffer. And so a lot of times we'll be like, here, I'll carry that for you. No problem. I can stick it in my backpack too. And then, oh, you're going through that. Oh, you don't need to. Well, I'll carry that for you. And pretty soon our backpack is huge. And if we're carrying everyone else's stuff in our backpack, just as if we were on a camping trip and they were like, oh, well, I brought these cans of beans, right? And they're too heavy for me. Oh, I'll carry your cans of beans. And then, oh, well, I actually brought like the heaviest pot in my kitchen. Oh, I'll carry that for you, right? They don't learn not to carry that around anymore because you're carrying it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times we're picking up that stuff unconsciously. So, I mean,
absolutely.
Would you say even in the grocery store, walking by somebody who's
I went to massage school, and honestly, I realized at one point, oh, like in massage school, you massage people, at least in our environment. There's a whole room, so everyone's in the same room, and then there are just screens between you, right? Like folding screens. And I recognized at one point, oh, I am actually healing the entire room, and I didn't sign up consciously to do that, but this is what's happening. And it's yuck, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so a lot of us are unconsciously doing this, and the Hawaiians, I live on Maui.
She lives on Maui. You'll hear some of the birds in the background. It's awesome.
Right? I consciously selected it, right? And then created it ahead of time and then stepped into it. All right. And
by the way, that she just shared the secret of the universe right there. Right.
You create it and then you step into it, right? And it's fun to do, right? It's not a burden. It's super fun before you're in it to create it. So the Hawaiians. I live in Hawaii. Have a really cool way of filling up so that you're not filling up with everybody else's stuff.
Right.
And I studied with a Hawaiian shaman or kahuna for some years until she retired. And the story of how that came about is really cool too, but maybe we won't go there. And she taught us that what you do is you kind of root into the earth as though you have roots from your feet and your tailbone. And you want to uncross your legs for this. It just energetically works better. But then you start to root as though you could connect to the very heart or core of the planet. Down, 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 down. And then draw energy, earth energy, up along those grounding connections into your feet and into your hips. So that earth energy then comes up to fill your legs, and you can sense it as whatever temperature you like, whatever sort of color or quality. Often for us, it's kind of like warm, like lava, and into the belly. And then you draw it all the way up. And as it comes up, there are certain ways of working with this earth energy, but you're kind of asking it to just come up and also clear out anything that's not harmonious with it. Mm-hmm. All the way up to the crown of your head and also down and out your arms. And actually, I have a meditation of this on my website. I'm just leading it kind of quickly now. And then as we are cosmic and earth beings, we're going to connect to the center of the cosmos, the light. And you're going to draw cosmic energy down into your head. And now, of course, you already have the earth energy here. So you're going to mix it and then spread it out through your head and all the sensory organs and spread it down into your neck. And then when you come to the heart, each person, if you get a sense of them, they're either slightly more cosmic or slightly more earth, right? We have grounded people and we have sort of like airy people and all different in between. So you mix the energy really well to your own mix of cosmic and earth energies here in the chest. And then you spread it out through the arms and spread it down, all the way down into the pelvis and down and out your feet. And the idea is that when you're connected to the planet and to the cosmos and you're filled up with all of these energies, then other people's energies aren't going to be able to impact you as much. And I've really found that to be true.
Wow. Wow. And super important right now where, I mean, literally it feels like the earth is shifting under our feet with everything that's going on right now. Super great to have these practices to ground.
You know, we find this oftentimes in relationships, which can be why it can be so hard to let go of an ex. But cords, the Hawaiians call them aka cords. They aren't necessarily a bad thing. Like young children cord to their parents' root chakra. And that's energetically for a reason, right? You're required for their survival. But that is also why there can be such a discord once they're like 18, 19, trying to leave and they're still pulled back. Yeah, so uncording, uncourting from relationships, even teachers to a class full of children. We just love them and we want to serve them in our best way. Yet the best way to serve someone is to help them connect with their own power instead of trying to give yours, or vice versa. When you think someone has something that you want, even sexually, you can be courted, by walking down the street. If you're not filled up with you, someone will court you, or you'll court someone else, and it's not helping you recognize your wholeness. You do not need to court someone in order to get something from them. So it's kind of a larger conversation, but this is actually one of the biggest energetic imbalances there is for people. Like when someone comes to me and they have some kind of grief or depression or frustration, especially with someone in their life, an easy thing to do is look for cords and let go of them, because they're generally there.
Yeah. I love the expression that you used, if you're not full of you, and it's kind of funny because that statement, right? You're so full of yourself, and it's like, thank you. Yes, I am.
Hopefully overflowing, and there's enough of joy and all the things to bubble out to everybody.
Yeah. So interesting. So how about the people that are almost addicted to like the drama because they're finding their significance by helping everybody else, and now they've got their cords all over the place?
Well, it's really where we get our own sense of well-being from. We can get our sense of well-being from trying to take care of other people. However, usually it comes at a price, because we expect those people to be grateful. We expect those people to maybe reciprocate. And then when they don't, either we're upset or we're justified in, well, no one's ever good to me, right? Or no one ever takes care of me. And that we feel some sort of like defensive justification of like our victimhood, which is not a fun place to live, even though sometimes it feels like it is. And one of the things that I love to share with people, to me, this is what empowerment is. Empowerment is the ability to choose how you're showing up at any moment in your life. And so that means I can, I'm not moved, I'm not reactive to what's going on in my environment.
Right.
Okay, so do you mind if I share a little tool for this?
Let me think. No, I don't mind.
This is one of the quickest tools I've learned, and it's so funny because I learned it before my 11-year-old was born. And then, like I said, I've studied so many things. So I used it for a long, long time. And then I learned some new modalities and kind of let it drop. And then I looked at it again in the past several years, and I was like, this is one of the most effective things I've ever used. Like, why would I let this drop? and so, and I found that among the many people I've taught that this is something to go back to as well. And it's a couple of sentences. So what it is I'm feeling X, and you're acknowledging what you're feeling. So I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling disempowered, I'm feeling fearful, whatever it is. All right. And then I'm feeling fearful, sad, whatever, because I'm choosing to. All right, now we've acknowledged what we're feeling. Ooh. And we've also acknowledged that it's a choice.
Yeah.
And now because we acknowledge that it's a conscious choice, it may have been an unconscious choice, but it's still a choice. Okay, so I'm feeling X. I'm feeling X because I'm choosing to. I'm choosing to because I think that works for me. All right. So in the previous example, I said, we feel justified in our victimhood. We
Yeah.
could use that. I'm feeling justified in my victimhood because I think that works for me. Does it really? Is the next question. All right. And does it really is not a judgment, because sometimes what we're choosing actually does work for us. Like, I'm angry. I'm angry because I'm choosing to be. I'm choosing to be because I think that works for me. Does it really? Well, yeah, right this second it actually does. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But on the off chance, which is usually more true than not, what you're choosing when you're using this is not working.
Yeah. I've
So
got an
then,
example.
oh, do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was the youngest by a long shot of four daughters, and so pitiful when I was a kid worked really great for me. And then I realized it was popping up, and I'm like, what the, why would I choose that? And then I realized, so that was gonna, I might have gone through questioning like that. Like, does that really work for me? Like, kind of did for a long time, but do I choose to bring it forward now? Like, no, not so much.
Right, isn't that cool? And that's usually why we choose something, because at one point in time it did work.
Yeah.
It did. And so we continue to choose it even though now it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's almost like a habitual unconscious choosing. And it's like, oh, and at the speed of awareness, like, does that work? Like you just brought it with your questions up to the surface. Like it just becomes a choice, does it or not? And like you said, okay, you can, I love that. Super powerful.
It's really powerful. And then, so does it work? Is it working for me? And then, oh, well, what would I rather choose? Because now you have access to all the energies you've ever experienced in your life. Confident, blissful, happy, joyful, sad, pathetic, whatever it is, you have access to all of that. Okay? And it's not dependent on the outside world. We tend to think it is, but it's not. And so what would I rather choose? Oh, well, I would rather choose to be calm. Or I would rather choose to feel connected, or whatever it is. And then you can choose the actions that match that. But first, we're choosing how we'd rather feel, the energy.
So can we run through an example? Like I think a common one or common feelings for women is they're feeling unseen, unheard, unappreciated, those kinds of things. So can you take us through like
Absolutely. And I just want to say, if you would like to see this, because sometimes it's really useful, it's like, wait, there's a lot of phrases here. I have a download, a little thing you can print out at Meet Kathy Williams, Kathy with a K, Williams with an S.com/radio, because I talked about it on the radio. And then you can print it out there. So I'm feeling unseen. I'm feeling unseen because I'm choosing to. I'm choosing to feel unseen because I think that works for me. Does it really? What would I rather choose? And then we get to choose it. And we think, oh, well, I'm at the effect of other people. No, you aren't, actually. Here's the thing. Our belief is creating what shows up in our life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Our point of view is creating our reality. So if we're feeling unseen, in some place within us, we're believing something about being unseen. Okay. Now you might say, well, I don't want to be unseen. I'm doing all these things to be seen. Well, we get to look at like, what's really going on? What are my points of view? Oh, well, my husband or my mom or my child or my boss or whomever never sees me. Okay, cool. So let's change that point of view,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'll give you an example of this because I was in a ballet company. I was a professional dancer for some years.
So cool.
And, yeah, too many years. And there was this one director. There was a director and a co-director, and I was like, the director likes me. Co-director doesn't like me, right? So one day I discovered, wait, the co-director likes me. Huh. Okay, well, that must mean the director doesn't like me. right? Like my mind, right? So of course, my points of view about this are going to color what I see. And even if the co-director did like me and I didn't see it, it's because it's like yoga, the yoga tradition talks about, the Toltec tradition talks about, so many, you know, these ancient traditions talk about the fact that we're not seeing the world clearly. They don't use this analogy, but it's like we're seeing the world with dust or bird poop on our glasses. You're not going to see where they like you if there's bird poop right there because of your belief.
Yeah.
If you start to clean your glasses, you're going to see, oh, wait, there are behaviors that are going on there that don't match my old belief.
Yeah.
I couldn't see them because I wasn't believing them.
Yeah. And it's amazing how things can respond to you so quickly as soon as you tune up the belief.
Yeah, it's really amazing. And so, you know, I mean, whatever's showing up, if you don't like it, it's something that's really useful to like, okay, well, I want to be seen, right? This is what I want. Well, then I would take a whole sheet of paper and just like, I want to be seen. Well, what are my beliefs about that? Oh, so-and-so doesn't see me. Oh, and I was seen, and for me, it was 6th grade. I did a presentation. I held my prop upside down. And then some guy, some kid, you know, some boy was like, did you know your prop was upside down the whole time? You know? I was like, ah. So we have these beliefs, these memories that emerge.
Or it might even be inherited, right? I mean, I'm a dad issue, or like lifetimes ago, like last time you were fried as a witch or something.
Exactly. Or mom said, well, it's better to be safe, don't step out, or whatever it is. You take a look at those. And then just like, I mean, one of my other favorite tools is this kind of is like a great neutralizer. You just look at it and you say, is that true? Maybe so, maybe not, maybe so, maybe not, maybe so, maybe not, maybe so, maybe not, maybe so, maybe not. And it helps you realize it doesn't have to be true.
Yeah.
It could be true, but it doesn't have to be true. And you let it go.
Yeah. And I think that's the cosmic calling right now, is
And of
to
course, I know, let it go. Yeah, and when you're doing that and you have a sheet of paper and you write what it is you'd like and what's showing up instead, because you have beliefs about that, right? Then you can also use any of your, I know a lot of people listening know about clearing statements or whatever it is. You can look at those phrases and use whatever clearing tool you like.
Yeah.
I mean, I kept asking, well, what's faster than this, right? What would work better than this? And one of the things is, oh, all my points of view about that, right? Creating that as true, collapse those back. They've been solidified.
Yeah.
Collapse those back to a wave. Collapse those back to energy so it can move.
Oh, and that's a good point. You know, I think a lot of us women, because we didn't want to hurt anybody else, so we were taking on everybody else's energy, and it's like we didn't want to give it away because we thought it was negative. And it's like, no, you know what? The earth, Mother Gaia is asking for contribution. She loves fertilizer. It makes everything grow beautiful. So put out your poop. You know, she's not judging good or bad about it. It's energy contribution for her.
Well, yes, that is so true, Kathy. And the other element of like us trying to carry everything for everyone else is that then they don't learn for themselves. Like I'm sure each of us in our own lives can identify some step we made that was kind of off, but we certainly learned something that really helped us.
Yeah. So it's almost like an unkindness to them to carry their weight for them, because they're just going to put their hand back on the stove the next time.
Exactly. You know, I'm thinking of my son once opened the freezer and he ate something like 7 popsicles, right? And they weren't just popsicles, they were like ice cream bars. And he felt terrible afterwards. I could say over and over, if you eat too much ice cream, you're going to feel terrible. But that one experience taught him way more than me telling him ever would have. Right? Has he ever eaten 7 ice cream bars again? No. No.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing is, when we're trying to take care of everybody else's life,
mm-hmm.
we're not modeling, we're not being a model of living in integrity, alignment, and what's true and the gift of us to the planet, right? We're distracting ourselves from that by everyone else's stuff around us. And the other piece of that is, not acknowledging that the choices they're making are creating their life. We don't know better. When we think, oh, well, let me just take that for you, we're almost making ourselves superior and more capable. Mm-hmm. And we might say, well, I am more capable. Okay, possibly in certain areas, right? However, you're playing God in a way.
Yeah.
When you're like, oh, let me just carry that for you. Oh, well, I can handle it better than you can. Right. Or whatever. And I think for a lot of us, it really is the distraction, right? Taking their energy and doing those things that we can handle. Okay, that is not actually our zone of genius. Is a distraction from us living our best life.
Yeah. And it's interesting. You just made me realize it's almost in the classification of an addiction, like a sugar addiction, like we're kind of dumbing down because there's something big that we don't want to step into, or smoking or gambling, whatever. It's like, that's just as much of an addiction as taking on other people's things. It's the master distraction from being you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a huge distraction and doesn't really make us as happy, or them, the other people, as happy as we truly could be.
Yeah. And it's amazing to see, like, some people just have like nonstop things happening in their lives. It's like, how to allow them to the space. So I can't help but ask about the abundance thing, because you are so light and fun in the way you create around abundance. She's got a course, Radical Abundance, and be on the lookout when that pops up. You want to hop into that course for sure. But tell us your take on abundance. And
this universe is infinitely abundant, and it's only this, right? Our head, our story, that keep us from seeing and knowing and being that. So if you think of your own body, you have trillions of cells, trillions. Okay? And millions of them are dying and being replaced every day. Okay? So our culture, our society has fed us lies of lack. Like, there is not enough. Lies of scarcity. Like, if I have, that means you won't. But that's not the universe. That's not the way the universe perceives things. And it's not the way the universe works. For example, if I have an apple, I can eat the apple. But seeds are left over. And if I plant those seeds, guess what? At least a couple of trees can grow. And then those trees are going to produce fruit for years, right? Just from one apple. That's what the universe is like. So if I have a creative idea and I blossom it and I fruit it, and then that goes out and expands your life, right? And you get more creative ideas, and it's like the whole orchard of different plants, different fruits, different flowers. It's infinitely expansive and abundant, right? We call this the ever expanding universe. It's always expanding. And the really funny thing is, well, especially for aware people, right? We're always looking for what's off. Our minds have this thing called the negativity bias. Okay, so they're always scanning for, well, what's out of place, what's not working. Okay, that's their nature. Well, what's the antidote to that? The antidote is becoming present right now. And I know there's a lot of like, become present, the power of now, all that stuff. It's just being with your breath and realizing, I like to put a hand there, realizing right now, I am receiving, as I inhale, the support of the entire universe right now, just by breathing. And then as I exhale, I invite people, when we exhale, to soften into that support. Mm-hmm. Because one of the biggest lies is, I have to figure it out.
Yeah. And I think that's a huge one for women. We've become strong, independent women working in this masculine operating system kind of a thing. And it's like, no, that intuitive way now, the feminine way is to allow ourselves to open to receive. That's intuitive. That's working with the body to see what the body's got to say about it. And, receiving.
Yeah. And so, we're human beings, not human doings. And so coming back to right here, right now, and recognizing the support you already have. You made it. You're here on the planet, and you're receiving all of these things that allow you to live and breathe and enjoy the sun on your shoulders and all, and we so often overlook all of that and overlook the abundant present moment. What do I have to do next? This is undone. This is not, this is not right. I have to fix this. I have to achieve this. I'm not there yet. And we have people who live their whole life in, I'm not there yet. I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I've achieved this bank account number. Oh no, now it is when the kids graduate. Oh no, now it is when, and it's just like happiness as a future to be attained doesn't exist, because there's only one moment, and that is now. Right? There's our mind can create a future of I'm happy when, but that's always never now.
Always.
So and then the other key is, right, one huge key is just settling into the present, like letting go of all your ideas, settling into the present. So not missing your life. But then the other key is gratitude, right? Because when we're thankful, we're not in judgment. We're not judging what shouldn't be this way, right? Like, I'm so thankful for quarantine. I'm so thankful this young world, this world of like outward achievement, all of that, had a forced moment of, gotta go in. Right?
Uncanny. And it's like brilliant.
You could go in kicking and screaming, and this shouldn't be happening, and the government is making us do this, and I hate this, and blah, blah, blah. Or you can go in like, okay, what now? What can I receive from this? What can I learn from this? And you can go in, people are losing their jobs and money, and that's all your ideas, okay, which keep you from enjoying this present moment now. And the river of wisdom is always flowing. Means if you get present, you can receive from it.
Shazam. That's awesome. The river of wisdom is always flowing. I love that. Yeah. Beautiful. I don't know where to go with that there's so many lessons that, like you said, that from the pandemic, that if we put all those stories aside and just ask what my story is, and it makes me think back to the practice you took us through. Wow. What a super 1-2 combo to take all those things that are agitating us right now or leaving us uncertain or doubtful or whatever, to transmute that into more clarity about where do we go from here. We got to unpack that backpack and pack it with the good vision of where we're heading. So, oh my goodness, girl. You just are just like such a light in this world. Thank you for spending this time to share some of your little alchemy. And I highly recommend her. Check her out. The website is Meet Kathy Williams with an S, Kathy with a K. .com. And she does a radio, show every Thursday. You definitely want to check that out. She's been interviewing some pretty magnificent people. And you've got a freebie for us of a meditation. You want to tell us a quickie about the Release the Day meditation?
I do. This is a meditation that I've been working with for several years now, and it just sort of came to me as a way to let go of what's not working for you. And in this particular version of it, it's really about releasing the day and releasing, the energies that you've accumulated and things like that. But you can definitely also use it for releasing all the stuff around unworthiness or being unseen or things like that. And it actually comes as a bonus with the Radical Abundance course as well, one of the many bonuses. But one of the participants who received that said, Kathy, I don't have anxiety anymore because I do the waterfall exercise, and it just changed everything for me. Now, I tell you this because the waterfall exercise was not created to get rid of anxiety, right? It's just the byproduct she got from doing it. So I highly recommend it. I recommend it with couples. I recommend it, you making it your own once you've learned it, because it is so successful for helping you let go energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally of what's not working for you.
Yeah. And what a great skill for especially sensitive women to have that sense of letting go. Because like you said, other people's poop. Let's get clear the distractions. Onward we go. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you for spending the time with us, and we'll see you around real soon, huh?
Thank you, Kathy. And my radio show is Sexy Mom Abundant Life, which you can find on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and at my own page, meetkathyWilliams.com/radio, where you can also get that handout that details what I said earlier.
The process. Awesomeness.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll put all the links below so they'll see that.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Bye.